Welcome to another exciting adventure in real estate with your host, Bill Barnett, and myself, Kevin Mills. How are you, Bill?
Good morning, sir. You're looking dapper in your casino
No,
or
studio.
slot machine. What is that?
No. It's a sound studio.
Okay.
And not wearing a tie today because my left arm is still injured and I can't get up there to tie it. So, and my wife can't figure it out. So no tie for another couple of weeks until my arm is on the mend. It's all purple and green right now. So
Wow.
hit it pretty hard, but it's getting better, and happy about that. For the last, and you know what, honestly, since we started this show, we've been talking about subject twos because
Yep.
subject two is a good strategy, and we've been harping on subject two for the last couple months because in this market, this current economy, that is a strategy that is going to be one of your strongest options.
Yep.
But instead of harping on subject two again today, we wanted to kind of turn the clock back, sort of, okay? Go to square one, because we get a lot of people who watch us who are just starting out, new investors. And the question is always, how do I get started? How do I get started? And you've heard me say this before, and I tell consulting clients, I even tell my kids these words, okay? Get off your butt. Okay. In our family, we actually just call it GYOB because we have just said it so much. It's GYOB. In fact, we've said it so much, I went ahead and I started a website for GYOB. Get off your butt. It's really that simple. Okay. Now, the steps that you take after that, Bill and I are going to cover that. Right. But you're never going to get anything done until you take that first step. I have seen, and Bill has seen it also. Okay. People that we see over and over and over again for years taking our classes, taking other people's classes, they'll come up to us and they'll tell us they are 3 years in the whatever program, and they're a triple master Jedi in whoever's program and whatever else it is. Okay. And then I'll ask them, tell me about your deals. What have you done? What deals have you done? Tell me. Oh, well, I'm still waiting. I still have to complete the Jedi 9th level ninja return, whatever thing it is. No, you need to get started. I don't take your real estate courses, take your educational classes, do all of that, but get started. By getting started, you're going to understand better what you need, because you're going to fixate on certain strategies that you like. And there are different programs that focus more specifically on those strategies. Get started. Don't feel like you have to wait for anything other than you to kick yourself in your butt and get it off of it and get started. Motivation is the number one factor in getting started in real estate investing or anything. If you want a career in anything, if you want a relationship, if you want anything at all, the way you're going to do it is by getting off your butt. Bill, how do we get people off their butts? How do people say, you know what, I got to get off my butt, and this is what's going to motivate me to do it?
So there's really only two things that maybe three that hold people back. Well, the first one's fear, but then the other two, the two practical things that hold people back is they don't have know how to buy one, where to find it, how to buy it, and then they don't have the money put together. So anything that we do, I always stress to my students, this whole business is money and offers. So you should always be making offers and always putting money together, whether that's cash or whether that's credit combo, therefore, whether it's a string of lenders, doesn't matter. But to get started, they just need to get out and start looking at property immediately and stop saying, oh yeah, but I don't know this and I don't know how to do that and I don't know. Look, Kevin and I have been doing this about 30 years each. Kevin's been doing it longer than I have. That doesn't mean we have all the answers, because we don't. We run into stuff all the time. We're like, wow, never seen that before, never heard of that. They're going to find that out. I don't know that answer. Let me call somebody that does, or call till I find somebody that does. Most of the time I'm gonna call Kevin first. And so you can't have all your ducks in a row before you start. Every step isn't laid out. It's not perfect. So we look at it. I get tickled. I have people that will say, well, I got to get my LLC set up first. Really? Why? You don't have anything yet. I got to get my asset protection plan in place. Why? You don't have any assets yet. Well, I need my business cards. Okay, you can use a business card, but you don't have to use a business card. That's never going to stop you from doing a deal. Oh, I don't have a business card. Well, I can't let you buy this house. And if you don't have a business, it's just crazy. We put everything that we can think of in front of what actually moves us toward result. All that stuff is nice. Some of it is needed. Much of it is necessary, but you can do that anytime. And the appropriate time to do it is not first, in my opinion. Get out, meet a real estate agent, and go start looking at property. And your agent's going to have questions. What do you want to tell them? I tell them, start with something simple like, hey, if you know that where there's a house that is just not going to sell because it's in terrible shape, or in the description, the sellers have put, hey, calling all investors heads up, handyman special, whatever those phrases are. And those agents all know those phrases. Pull some of those for me, because I want something that's really trashed out. If I can find something trashed out, I'm probably going to be wanting to buy that property. So a property that a homeowner is going to look at and thumb their nose to, because they're like, man, I don't want to have to go in and do all this work to be able to live there. When I buy my house as a homeowner, I want to get my towel, my toothbrush, I'm home. I don't have to do anything else. All of these properties you and I are looking for need that plus. We want them in bad shape. So if I know that, I can port that into somebody's brain, just unscrew it and pour it in, then you're going to find that this business becomes a lot easier. Because if you get an offer accepted and you're like, I don't know where I'm going to get the money to do this. Well, now I've got your attention on the other side, because you got this offer sitting here. You got 30 days or less now to pay for it. And we'll have to get figured out how to do that as well. So we are up on break.
We'll be back in just a second with some more good advice on getting started. All right, and we are back. And you know what? One of the things I used to tell students when I was doing classes all the time is your biggest motivation is going to come from getting out the MLS, whether that's online or back in the day when I first started, it was actually in the newspaper. Get out the MLS. Look at what properties are selling in the market that you're interested in. Go out and look at those properties. And if you look at enough properties, you're going to find that motivation, because you're going to say, you know what, I got to have that property. And then you're going to realize, you know what, I need to figure out the financing for that. And that's going to motivate you to figure out the finance. It's going to motivate you to figure out the funding. By the time you get all those pieces put together, you may not be able to get that property. But the thing I stress, and Bill as well, the thing that we stress to people is those deals are going to come along again. Those deals will come along every other week. You'll have great deals. It'll be mind-blowing deals, but your bread and butter deals, they are out there every single day. Get out there, start looking at deals, start looking at properties. And you can say, you know what, that's a good deal. I could make X amount of dollars. That's a great deal. I could get there. This is an awesome project. I would love to have this project. Then you're going to start saying, the only way I'm going to put these together is if I have the funding and the financing. How do I find the funding and the financing? It may be as simple as you going to the bank and getting a loan. You may have the credit and the ability to do that. It may be you having to find partners. It may be you having to put together a fund to fund the projects that you want. Whatever it is that works for you, you're going to figure that out once you start seeing the potential that is out there. Once you start seeing the potential that's out there, something else I think you should do, something else I think you should take time doing, is reading some books. Okay, Napoleon Hill is a great one. Carnegie is another great one. Habits of Successful People, 7 Habits of Successful People is a great book. You can also get it on audio, but 7 Habits of Successful People. One of the things that I recommend to people all the time, not necessarily with motivation, but it is motivating, and it also helps you just kind of realize that the pieces can fall into place, is Richest Man in Babylon. And we've recommended that book before. Bill and I both love that book. Richest Man in Babylon will help you put together a personal finance plan that will help you invest. It will help you pay your bills. It'll help you save for the future. It'll help you in your life, period. And when you can see those pieces come together, then you'll realize, you know, I can do this. I can make this happen. It is as appropriate. It was written in the 1930s, okay? And it was written about a man in Babylonian times, like the time of Christ or before Christ, okay?
Yeah.
It is as appropriate now as it was in the 1930s, as it was in ancient Babylon. I thought you were running back there to get a copy of the book. So
that's in the other room.
In the other, it is
literally in my library room. This is, I'm gonna try to hold this still enough for it to show up because of my background.
Napoleon Hill. That's all I saw was Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, it's Napoleon Hill. It's Laws of Success. So this is a compilation book. This has 9 different books in it. Of course, it has Think and Grow Rich in it. He has got some amazing books. It starts off with Think and Grow Rich, and then it also has Interview with the Devil, which is a fabulous book. Just tremendous. And anything you can get a hold of by Napoleon Hill, I think you're going to benefit from. Of course, Think and Grow Rich is the largest selling motivational book of its type since it came out, and it is just incredible. I try to read it once a quarter. I don't always get that done, but that's on my reading agenda. Once a quarter, I'll go with Think and Grow Rich. Now, Kevin said you may listen to these books on like audible.com, which I think is fabulous. I had a guy about 2 years ago, a guy named Alex Hermosi. And I don't know Alex. He didn't tell me this personally. I was listening to his podcast. Alex graduated top of his class from Vanderbilt, which was a great school, in 3 years, not 4. And I'm like, this is a smart dude here. Now, when you see him, big burly guy, got a big old beard. He is muscle bound. He's a bodybuilder, and he's worth right at $200 million. And he's 32, 33. And one of the things that he does is there's 2 things I want to share with you that are absolutely brilliant. I've really gotten into one of them, haven't gotten the other one going yet, is when he buys Think and Grow Rich, he goes and immediately goes into Audible and buys the audio version as well. And then he will listen to the audio version as he's reading the physical book. And so you've got 2 modes going on. You've got the visual mode of you reading, and you've got the auditory of you hearing it, and it anchors the information in significantly stronger than just reading or just listening. And so that part I've gotten into, and I absolutely love it. I can't, from a book standpoint or from a learning standpoint, educationally, I can't stress that any more than, I mean, just telling you, if you haven't done this ever, you want to try this. You'll be shocked at the retention it creates for you. Then the second part, and this is what I'm working on, is when he finds a book that he's like, you know what, this is a book that I want to read. So I know every time I move hard, it disappears. Hey, that's a book that I want to read. So I go get the audio book, but then we start on it. And as soon as it's finished, by the way, when you're listening to the audio companion, you won't read slower, you will read faster. And you can, one of the things I love about Audible is you can adjust the speed of the play. And I usually listen, if it's a slow speaker, I'll listen at 1.5 times. If it's somebody that talks fairly quickly, I'll listen at 1.3. And you'll be surprised how easy it is to listen and understand and comprehend, speed it up like that. So anyway, he'll go all the way through the book instead of going, man, that was a great book. I'm so glad I read that. And it goes on the shelf. He turns it over and starts again. And he reads a book 4 times back to back, reading, listening at the same time, 4 times in a row. Now, what do you think happens with that? That information is becoming ingrained and easy, quick recall. And I'm still trying to get the handle on that yet, but man, and you know, if you're going to learn a trait from somebody, you want to learn it from somebody that is at a different level than you. So I'm here, Alex is up here, you know, he's up here. And so that's somebody that when I'm looking to model somebody, that's what I'm going to look for. And I want to find out what those habits are. See, we always take a look at the big actions. Oh, well, how does he buy this? And how does he do that? He buys companies, by the way, but he started out owning a small chain of gyms in California. And I mean, a small chain, like 6, and stole those off and parlayed that money into where he is today and growing like crazy. But I want to know the habits. I don't want to know the big events. We can see those pretty easy. And you'll always get those big events, but it's the habits that lead up to that. And I know we're way over on this.
We are on a break. And real quick, I want to say just before we go into this break, remember, we're looking at habits of highly successful people. We don't have to do the exact same business that they're in, but we need to look at their habits. We may not be wanting to buy gyms, but if Alex can buy gyms, we can buy real estate using the exact same habits. We'll be back in just a second. And we're back. Final segment. One thing too, you don't have to go on Audible. Okay. You can go into your local library and you can order these books. Okay. I buy the books because I'm like Bill, I want to have them. Okay. I want to have them on my bookcase because I want to be able to pull them out. But I'll go to the library and I'll order the CD, or I'll order, the cassette tape back in the day. And I have a computer that has a disc player on it still, and it'll also burn CDs.
Yeah.
And I will make a copy of that CD, an audio copy of that CD, and I will put it onto a CD. So I have the CD, and I will also put it onto a jump drive. And in my cars, most of my cars, I'm able to plug a jump drive into the stereo and I'm able to listen to it. So I spend a lot of time on the road. And if you're a
Yeah.
real estate investor and you're out there looking at properties, you're going to spend a lot of time on the road. I listen to those. I listen to language tapes. My wife is Chinese. When I first met my wife, I got Chinese CDs and I burned them onto jump drives and I started practicing my Chinese. I have those all, and my daughter listens to them right now before she goes to bed, and that's what's helping her learn her Mandarin. Listen to something
Yeah.
repetitively, and it will sink
Yeah.
into your brain. You will literally know what the next word is that the person is saying, that you're listening to. Play it that many times that you can recite it with them, word for word for
Yeah.
word, and let it sink in. Read the book. That'll help you let it sink in even more. Take that same jump drive, that same CD, and play it while you're listening to the book, like what Bill said. But get that into your head and use it for your downtime. When we drive to Orlando, which we often do, we drive to Miami. Miami's about an hour drive from here. We'll listen to things. Sometimes we'll listen to music, but we'll listen to things a lot of times that are motivational. We'll listen to motivational stories. We'll listen to motivational books on audio. Use your downtime to start loading your brain up with information and with motivation. And we started this podcast off with telling you your biggest hurdle to overcome for getting started in real estate. The biggest
Yeah.
hurdle is not money. Your biggest hurdle is not deal sources. Your biggest hurdle is not education. Your biggest hurdle is you. Your biggest hurdle is that butt that you're sitting
Amen.
on, weighing you
Yeah.
down
And
from getting going. And
what's going on right there?
yes, nobody can stop you from succeeding if you decide that you're going to do it. The only person holding you back, the only person keeping you on your butt is you. So get off your butt, get out there, start looking at deals. You know what? I don't care if you say, I don't have the money right now. Okay. When you look at these deals and you see the opportunities that are out there, you're going to figure out how to come up with that money. Okay. It's just something you need to learn. That's it. All right. You learn it, you master it, and it's easy. Once you've mastered the money, then you'll start figuring out, this is how I start packaging up projects. This is how I start scheduling projects, because when you have multiple projects, scheduling is an actual
Yeah.
thing that you have
Yeah.
to focus on. It's not something
That
that
it
we think about
is.
when we first start, but scheduling projects. These are all things that you're going to learn and overcome as you come to them in your journey. But
Yeah.
your journey will never start unless you get off your butt and you take that first step. The resources are out there. Okay, you can tap into realtor.com. You can go on Zillow. You can go on a dozen different sites and find properties that are available near you that you can look at the price and kind of get an idea of whether or not it's something you want to look at. Okay, you can get your butt in a car. You can get your butt on a bus if you need to. Okay, and go to a realtor's office. The realtor will drive you around. All right. There are people who do this who do not have a driver's license, who do not have a car, who buy real estate. Bill and I buy real estate in other markets that we don't even go see ourselves. We know
Yeah.
the market well enough that we can make a phone call to a real estate agent who we trust, who will go out there, take a look at the property for us and say, yeah, you don't want it, or yeah, this is one of the ones you're going to want, Kevin. This is the one of the ones you're going to want, Bill. And we'll write an offer on it and get it done. We've got people that we can call in that market. But guess what? You're never going to get to that point unless you get off your butt and you start.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever it is, you're never going to get there unless you start. I have so many people, and I hear this from friends my age and I hear it from younger people. I'd really like to meet somebody nice. I'd really love to have, you know, a companion in my life. I'd really love to have a great wife. I'd really love to have a great husband. Get out there and make it happen. What are you doing? Not much. Are you on a dating site? Nah, I don't want a dating site. Are you going to church? Are you going to the singles groups at church? What are you doing? Whatever it is that you need in your life, you have to get off your butt and you have to chase it, because it is not going to, in most cases, fall right in your lap. You know,
Yep.
I'll make a good example of that. The winning lotto. Do you remember what that was? Just literally just the other day, yesterday.
It was like 1.5
$1.58 billion
billion.
with a B. That's more money than Alex. You were just telling us about. Alex doesn't
Yeah.
have that
Oh, yeah.
money. Okay.
Yeah.
One person bought a ticket and has that 1.58 billion. Now that's easy. Okay. That's not working like what we're talking about for real. But you know what? If that person had not gotten off their butt and gone to the Publix, because that's where they bought it, was a Publix. If they had not gotten off their butt, stood in line, because you know what? We went to Publix the other night and there was a line to buy lottery tickets. They had not stood in line to buy that lottery ticket, they would not be $1.58 billion richer today. Now, that's something simple like a lottery ticket. If you can get your butt off, if you can get off your butt and get to the grocery store and buy groceries, if you can get to the grocery store and buy lottery tickets, if you can go to the liquor store and buy liquor, you can do the same thing. You just have to change what you get in your butt, getting off your butt for. I want you to write a note, write someplace where you're going to see it on your TV. Put it on your TV. Put it on your refrigerator. GOYB. So whenever you're getting ready to turn the remote on for the TV, you see GOYB. Don't turn on that remote. Open up your computer. Find some properties to look at.
Get off your butt. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, and get off your butt. I love that.
GOYB. And if you need t-shirts that say GOYB, or coffee cups or anything else, GOYBnow.com. But listen, you can write notes around your house to remind you. My wife does that all the time. She'll write big things about success, to remind her when she's walking around the house. I'll see a new magic marker sign posted to the wall, pretty much every day, because my wife does that. GOYB. Just take a sheet of paper out of your printer and put it everywhere where you're going to be reminded. Put it on your door. So when you wake up in the morning and you're headed to the bathroom, you see that. Okay. Put it on your bathroom door so that when you're walking to your bathroom door, you go to the bathroom often enough that you're reminded to GOYB. Put it on your refrigerator door. When you're opening that refrigerator, remind yourself, you know what? Grab a snack and GOYB. Just get it done. You can do GOYA if you want. It's the same thing.
A little bit more direct.
Actually, I did GOYA now also, but it's a donkey, which is also an ass. So either way, you have to get off your tuchus. You have to get off your rear. You have to let yourself be successful, and you have to do that by taking those steps. What is it? The journey of 1,000,000 miles begins with one step. So
just one.
We're ready to wrap up, but Bill, go ahead and take us out.
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody, if you'll even just get on realtor.com and just pick a price range, and then start looking at the houses in that price range and going through the pictures, what you're looking for in most cases is you're looking for a house that you go, oh my gosh, that's in terrible shape. Yeah, there's where you and I get an opportunity if you're looking to flip a property, if you're looking to rehab a property. If you're looking for rentals, you may want to look at something in a little bit better condition, but just get out there and start. You can do that. If you've got access to a phone or computer, you can get on realtor.com right now. You can get off our podcast and get on and start looking for property. And then when you see something you think has a remote chance of making it work, then there's you can click right there and the realtor will reach out to you and you can set an appointment up. Well, Bill, I don't even know what to look at when I go in there and look, and you're looking for stuff that looks horrible, terrible. You can tell it needs work on it because there's opportunity there to increase value. That's typically the easiest thing that people to get started with is fix and flip. And then that opens you up to all of the other possibilities for property and types of property, but you got to start somewhere. I love fix and flip. I love wholesale, but fix and flip has really been the thing that I've held on to for 30 years now, and don't have any intention of ever stopping doing. But you know what? Get going, get looking at property. And if you see something and it's gonna work, make the offer, pull the trigger, get it done.
If you spend some time on realtor.com, you're going to see other properties in the same neighborhood as that property you're looking at. And you're going to say, you know what? These other properties are going for $50,000, $100,000 more than this property. It's just saying something must be wrong with this property. Say, you know what? This is an opportunity. I'm going to jump on it. Contact the realtor as quickly as you can. Okay. While you're waiting for the realtor to get back to you, because guess what? It's an email and it'll come on your cell phone. Get in your car and drive by that property. Take a look at that property. Okay. Start figuring out how you're going to acquire that property if you can, if it's available for you. Now, we're way over on time, but when we come back on our next show, we're going to talk about making offers. We're going to talk about a lot of people are afraid to make offers. We're going to talk about offers. I'm going to tell you exactly why you do not need to be afraid of making offers. Get out there and make as many offers as you can. And if for some reason you can't follow through on that offer, we're going to show you exactly. Don't make bad offers. Okay. Don't make offers that are going to waste people's time. Okay. But we're going to tell you how to make offers so that if it's not the deal for you, that you have an easy out. Okay. We'll be covering all of that on our next show. So make sure you join us then. Until then, GOYB. Happy investing. I'll see you later.
See you, everybody.